Howdy folks, Todd here with Great Escape Farms. Today I'm going to give you a quick update, a homestead update on some of the things I've been doing here. So this is our part of our food forest, and I cleared out this area right here. It was getting inundated and taken over by the eastern redbuds. You can see these right here, full of seeds, and I'm gonna have to pick those off before they drop the seeds, otherwise I'm gonna end up with 10 million. But it was just completely overgrown with redbud here. So I cut those out, I added a few things and just cleaned it up a good bit. The grapevines are just laying on the ground right now. I need to put those up on a trellis, but that will happen soon. I'm probably gonna do this in sections as I go along just to clean things up. I found that I just can't leave the food forest completely alone, or one thing or the other ends up taking over more so than the rest of the things. Let's see, this spring we had very, very warm weather, followed by a very late freeze at the very end, deep freeze. We went down to 25 degrees. So I lost almost all of my pawpaws. This is one case right here at the tip of my fingers. I have a couple left here. I'm guessing I don't have but maybe a half a dozen in the yard here. So and then I lost almost all my apples, everything this year because of the very warm weather followed by the cool weather. One thing I found that does do very, very good is the Cornus moss, or the Cornelian cherry dogwoods here. You can see I have lots and lots of fruit here, so hopefully by late July those will be ripening, and those are definitely some wonderful, wonderful treats. The pawpaws that I have throughout the yard, I trimmed up in the winter, and although I did end up losing a good bit of the fruit, the shape of them looks much better. They're healthier, they're growing good, doing a very, very nice, good job of growing vigorously here. This is a raspberry I put in last year. I think it's called Joan J, and it is a patented variety, so I can't propagate it myself, but I did purchase a bunch because I really, really like it. It has large raspberries when we have a good bit of water. They're kind of small right now, but it has a wonderful flavor to it. So where we were just at are a couple of random pawpaws that we have, but in each one of these cages here, and you can see the stakes going all the way up, protecting them from deer. That's outside of my deer fence. Also on this side, I have them going all the way down, and we just refreshed the fence on the other side of the road there, and on the opposite side of the fence, you can see stakes over there. We have more pawpaws over there. So lining the street on each side, we're gonna have a Paw Paw Orchard here, basically just a single line going down, and we're gonna have just shy of 60 pawpaws there. So hopefully they come out nice and looks nice and gives us a lot of fruit here. Another plant that didn't seem to mind the cold, the warm weather followed by the freeze too much is our Flying Dragon trifoliate orange. You can see some of the tips died off here because it started growing early in the season, then we got that deep freeze and it all died back, but there are just tons and tons of little baby oranges in here. And one thing I have kept up with this year is the sheet mulch garden. Some years it just gets completely overgrown on me and weedy, and lots of stuff growing in here, but it's not weeds. So the sea kale is just loving life, and the Turkish rocket is. The lemon balm's coming back. It was having a little bit of difficulty. I built the ground up a little bit here. We had a bumper crop of honeyberry earlier this year, and we have plenty of herbs in here. I'm getting ready to label these for the farm crawl that we'll have in about a month. And this is my fennel that comes back year after year, and I just eat the little fronds up here on top, and I love those things, just eating fresh out of hand as well as in a salad. And this is a lovely, lovely plant that I'm just enjoying very, very much. Need to cut that bad boy out. So I still have a few things to keep up with here. And this is our lovage. So we have several different pieces of this. All started with one seed a number of months or a number of years back. And some of the blueberries are ripening in here. And Murphy is hunting for a chipmunk that was hanging out earlier. Oh, another thing that didn't fare too well with the cold weather, this is our gumi bush. I believe it's sweet scarlet gumi, and it's growing just huge. It's loving life here. But the fruit we only had about maybe 5 or 10% of what we usually do fruit wise. So it was definitely affected by the very, very cold weather. This is our sour cherry tree here. We do have some cherries on it, but nowhere near what we did last year. So again, the late freeze definitely affected that. Didn't completely annihilate it. This is Maypop, or Passiflora incarnata, and it is coming up very well. I actually did dig up a couple of suckers out in the yard here. For the most part, it is all growing right here in the very, very fertile compost and peat moss that I put in. So it definitely likes fertile soil a lot more than the clay soil that we have here. And there is the CEO of the operation over playing with her birds and dogs. And here is the swale, which I need to do some weed whacking on, and a little bit of weed whacking and some weeding itself. And what the plan is, I just planted a whole bunch of cucumbers. You can see them starting right here. So once I weed everything real good, I'm gonna put some weed barrier here on the downhill side, and the cucumbers will go back against the fence here in the where the chicken run is. But every other one, so cucumbers will go that way, and then right here I have, let's see, that one is watermelon. So I have squash and different things, squash and watermelons and cantaloupes, and they will just grow in the ditch right here in the trench. I did that last year, only I didn't have the weed barrier down, and the vines did great. It's just it got very, very weedy. So like I say, I'll do a good job weeding in here, put the weed barrier down, and then I'll train the vines to come down on that. The terraced garden beds here are doing very, very good. I have a number of different things planted. I have a separate video coming out showing what all is going to be in there. The big tall thing right here, that is Jerusalem artichoke, and it is doing just gangbusters in there. So we have a lot of composted manure in there. It's horse manure, and it is just loving that soil right there. What did I call this? The contour plant line right here. So it's not a ditch, but just a line, contour line that I planted into and built up with mulch. It's doing great. I need to do a little more mulching, a little more weeding on that. I'm probably gonna put some weed barrier down around that because it's very, very weedy in the back. I believe the last update I did, I talked about having the chicken run in here permanently, or semi-permanently. I put in T-posts with the fence here, and I planted into it. So I have a row of American elderberry closest to me. In the center, I have a row of mulberry plants, and down I have a row of European elderberries. And the whole goal of that is so I can pick the fruit, anything I drop, and there's always some droppage and things I miss, and then the girls can just go ahead and eat that and pick it up. And same thing with the stuff up against the fence right here. So here's some raspberries right here. Anything gets too ripe or anything, I just toss it through the fence and they get it. So this has been working out great. They get a lot of treats, and I don't have quite so much waste in here. Let's see, we have had a hawk coming, and he hasn't been going after the chickens. He's been going after our guineas. So that's the reason for the little spinny thing there, and these little shiny things that my wife picked up on Amazon. And we have scarecrows and stuff. That didn't really help at all, but between the reflective shiny things here and the spinny thing, one of the two of those have kept the hawks away, because we have not had a hawk attack in probably 6 or 8 weeks, and it all stopped right when we put this up. So one of the two of those is working well. I'm back by the nursery area now, and just wanted to point out that the elderberry, both here and off to my right, and the garlic, everything's doing good here. There's the other elderberry. I do have another one up there that's of an unknown variety. All the others, we do know what they are. And the nursery is probably at the lowest levels that it's been in 2 years now. I've been I sold at four different farmers markets in April and May, and in June I am at a much larger but only one single farmers market, and product has been moving. I'm almost out of Paw Paws. I was out of Elderberry. I transplanted some, got some more back in stock, but they're going quick and everything's moving quick here. So I may end up with portions of the summer with a good bit of my product being just totally out of stock here. So that's it for this video, now that the guineas are going to sound the alarm over here. And I will see you in another video. Have a great day.